also went into the 6 grand. That's what sale. But I need that again so that in the summer I don't have to work as much.
Yeah.
Like I can be like, hey, I'm done work, bye, you know, because I need that money.
Yeah.
No, but like I think about it a lot, and like I think like as hard as it like was, I think the relapse was really good. In a sense, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I sound like this now.
Everything happens for a reason.
I mean, cause like before the relapse, I had like a lot like all my stuff was in a row. Like all my ducks were in a row. I had a really good job. I still do, but I have a good job. I have like good friends. Well, and I have this podcast, and I have like my YouTube channel. I have all my gear. I have my stuff. I'm not with my girlfriend anymore, and like
you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and so like when I relapsed, it was like I had more to come back to. Yeah, I had more to come back to. I learned that like it's me, it's not anyone else, but it's just me, and like I don't want to do that anymore because like I have what I have and I want it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Did I make this depressing? I'm sorry.
No, I think that what you went through is very important, and what you keep going through is an important like, I don't know, you're very open about it, and I feel like that's really, really good to talk about, and it's very hard to go through alone. And yeah, like
I'm sorry for I honestly think when I messaged you guys, and I messaged like I think it was like a call for help.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
Usually I don't
that's why I didn't do it with you, butthead.
like when I was asking you for contacts and stuff like that, and I was like looking, I didn't need them. I had like 5 drug dealers like on the way, and I had like fucking 8 balls on my counter. Like I didn't need more drugs, but like I think I needed to have, because like if it was just myself and I didn't have all this stuff to go back to, I wouldn't have consequences to face.
Exactly.
I would just like came back, nothing mattered, I'd just do it again. But now it's like, I don't know, like my work knows, and like
there's people to hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah,
like, I can't.
And that's what you need.
I do need that, and like the entire time was like a fucking like fever dream. Like holy fuck, like 3 grand of cocaine's a lot.
That is a lot.
I know.
That's a fucking lot.
It's like 8 balls.
And it's also like it's just you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like for one singular person to consume, that's a fucking lot.
Like there was some, like I bought a motel, and there were some prostitutes there, but they were
like you invited them. They weren't just like there.
No, they were there.
No, they were part of the motel.
They were part of the motel.
Oh, really?
Like not in the room, but they
chair?
were part of the motel. Like they were hanging around, and they saw me all fucked up. They're like, "Do you want anything?" I was like, I'm having a little party in my room.
Oh, they actually like were about it.
They were about it up until they saw me.
They realized how fucked up
Yeah,
you were.
they saw me take the cocaine. They're like,
oh,
maybe they shouldn't. Because one thing that happened was I was really fucked up, and then I walked into my bathroom, and then I opened the door, and there's like this prostitute on the toilet, and she's like smoking meth, and then I was like, oh shit, sorry, I was gonna like go to the bathroom, but it's okay, I'm gonna get more drugs, and she like takes a big puff, she's like, she's like, I think you've had enough drugs.
That's
and then and then I
coming from the hooker.
Smoking meth.
And I was like, fuck you. Like, it's so weird how many times...
No one sees the world as real as a meth head.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that's so funny. There's this meth head that lives, like, I don't know if they live around me. They must. But
they're in the area.
They're always in my area, always. And, like, they'll get into my building and, like, hang out in that little lobby area.
Yeah.
And, like, it's one time I got locked out of my apartment, and I couldn't get in, and so I was, like, waiting for Levi to come home. And... I was like sitting on the ground, and she was like, "Oh my god, are you like okay? Are you locked out?" And I was like, "Obviously, I'm locked out. Like, obviously, I'm locked out." And she was like, "Oh, I'm just like wondering like if you're okay." Like, she's like, "I know a guy in there. Like, I can like see if he can like come out and like let you in." I'm like, "No, it's fine. Like, it's cool. How am I gonna get into my apartment?"
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm fine.
That's wild.
And then she like went away after I like yelled at her a little bit more. And then she after like a couple weeks later, she like came up to me and asked me for a cigarette, and I was about to quit, so I gave her like the whole pack. Like I had 2 left in the pack, so I gave it to her. And she was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. Do you want my shoes?" And I was like, And it was like below 40 at this point. Like it
Oh,
was really
during that
fucking
cold snap?
cold. Yeah.
Shit.
And I was like, no, girl, like it's good. Like I have shoes. And she was like, yeah, but these like are a little big. And like I'm just wondering, like it's cold outside. And I'm like, you're gonna be cold if you give me your fucking boots. That's fucking meth head logic.
She was just happy that you gave her cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's always the same fucking girl, and she always, and like, I'm so mean to her, but like, I cannot with her. Like, she just is so annoying. I'm just like, leave me alone. I don't smoke anymore. I'm pretty sure you don't even live in my building. Like,
No, she doesn't.
no, like,
Like maybe at night.
you live in the lobby with the plant. But yeah, it's pretty fucking annoying. I've had just like an extra like time with crackheads this week. Actually, I want to talk about that. That this person followed me. Like,
Oh,
not like
yeah.
home,
I was
but,
gonna
like,
tell you. So I looked more into it and I sent you a video. Apparently you can get pepper
Oh,
spray
yeah, I
that's
watched
a
the
gel.
video.
Yeah, like it's a gel so it won't go back at you.
Oh,
And it'll stick to the person.
That's awesome.
But here's the thing I want to ask you. How many times are you about to brush your teeth and you put the wrong end of the toothbrush in your mouth?
Literally never.
Oh, okay.
But I have lit the wrong end of a cigarette, so
Okay,
like
so
multiple times.
I just want you
Like,
to
I
be
would-
careful where you spray.
See, that's the thing. I don't think I'm gonna go with pepper spray. But the reason why I'm like considering buying pepper spray is because like last week I was walking home from work and like I crossed the street onto like a residential road where I walked down to get to my apartment, and there was this woman standing at like in this parking lot area. It's like a car dealership kind of thing, and as I'm walking by, she like is trying to like open a park car
Yeah.
door, and we like kind of make eye contact, and she goes hi, and I'm like fuck, and so like as I pass her, she like starts walking beside me in stride with me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, and so I was like fuck, and like she just kept walking with me, and she didn't say anything, and I was like, oh my god. So I was like, how's your night going? And then she just was like, fine, and then like it just kept on walking, and I was like, okay. So like it was for about a block before I was like, okay, I can't walk all the way home with her beside me. She's gonna do something.
Was she like next to you on the street, or is she like
on the sidewalk? We were both on the sidewalk. She was right next to me.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
scary.
That's
way
fucking
too spooky.
close.
Really
Yeah,
close.
that's weird.
Really fucking close. And I was
Yeah.
like, and then at one point, so I'm like, okay, have a good night. And I turn at the street to go walk towards the 7-Eleven because I'm like, I'm not
Yeah,
going home.
just-
Like, I'm
just
walking to
ditch.
7-Eleven. And so I was like, have a good night. And she was like, thanks, you too. And she kept walking beside me, like,
Ooh.
all the way to 7-Eleven.
That's spooky.
I know. It was the scariest
And,
fucking
like-
So,
thing.
how
And then
did
at
you-
one point, she kind of went behind me a little bit.
Mhm.
And so I had my purse beside me. And I'm like freaking out because I had just made my tips that night. And like, oh my, I had like a lot of cash. But like, but so I was like really worried. And then I hear this clicking. And then I'm like, oh my god, is that a knife? Like, am I about to be stabbed right now? But then I realized it was like a lighter. So she was like, I don't know. She was obviously on something. I say crackhead because there's a lot of those in Edmonton. But I'm not too sure. So she was like, and then she started muttering to herself like something. I couldn't really hear her or understand her. So finally, I like am in the 7-Eleven parking lot and I'm like speed walking. I'm not running, but I'm practically practically running like into the 7-Eleven. And she goes all the way in with me. And then I like walk to the back of the store immediately, and it's like pull out my phone to call a cab, and then I like called my boyfriend and whatever. But she like went outside of the store, found one of her friends. Her friend came into the store and then had a bag and like pulled out a makeup palette and showed it to me and was like, like spoke gibberish, and I was like, no, thank you, I'm good. And then he put it away and like left. Like after the guys were like, we're gonna call the police. And then they stood outside of the door to the 7-Eleven and watched me until Levi came.
What did Levi do?
He was like, what the and then right before he came, they moved to the side of the store.
Yeah.
So then he came in and I'm like telling
You're freaked the fuck
I'm like
out.
freaked.
Yeah.
I'm like so freaked out, and I'm telling the guys what happened. The guys who work at 7-Eleven, and they were like, "Oh my god!" And so, like Levi is like got there and he's hearing this, and he goes outside and he's like yelling at them. I'm like, "What is that gonna do?" Like it's whatever. But and I'm like, "Thank you so much for yelling at them."
Did they go away?
They did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
is a pretty big guy.
yeah. they
But
did
like,
go away.
what do you do like in the moment?
Well, yeah.
When someone starts following you.
I think I did the best thing I could have possibly done.
Yeah, you did. You're safe. I think
Yeah.
you should get a taser.
No, I was thinking. Well, I don't. That to me is more of a weapon than pepper spray or like
Yeah, but
a knife.
it's still the same. Like, you can carry around a taser with
It's-
you.
I guess, but no, you can't. I called the police the next day,
Yeah.
like the non-emergency hotline, just to see like if there was any like specific laws on carrying concealed. I know that you can't necessarily conceal a weapon, but like I wanted to know if like what counted as a weapon, you know?
Like, they're looking for knives.
Well, yeah, and so I figured as much, but I wanted to hear it from the non-emergency hotline. So I called them, and when I talked to the lady, she was like, "Are you asking if you can carry a weapon?" And I was like, "No, I'm asking what I can use to protect myself, like what you can tell me as the Edmonton police." And immediately she was like, "Oh, well, you could take some self-defense courses." And I was like, "Figured," and I hung up. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it made me so mad.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think if you want some information,
useless.
she should go to a police officer, like, face to face.
Mhm.
Because, like, maybe the lady was hearing this, like this person be like, "Hey, can I carry a weapon?"
No,
She's
I
like,
told her.
"Mm."
I told her I was like I was following home from work yesterday, and I'm feeling unsafe,
Oh, okay.
and I want to know what I can do. And like, like her tone immediately, it was kind of like sympathetic, kind of like, oh, like you can't carry a weapon, but you can take some self-defense courses.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
you just
you
like
can
I
carry a
know
weapon.
I can.
You want to know what you can bring to protect yourself that the police aren't going to consider like a weapon or a threat.
Yeah, like I can't get in trouble for.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you
For
have a
defending
knife
myself.
on you and it's concealed and you just happen to come across a police officer and they discover that you have a concealed knife on you, that looks bad.
Yeah. Also, I'm Indigenous. I never have a good time with the police. Every time they hear my last name, they're like, Supernault.
They just immediately change.
like I remember I was in the backseat one time and they were like, oh, do you like they were like, so do you know like very like a lot of other Supernaults? And I was like, no, not really, like I don't really talk to that side of my family. And they were like, that's probably for the best.
Oh.
I was like, oh my god,
That's so rude.
I was like so taken aback. And then when another time they were like, maybe this was the same time, but they kept on like, they found out my name, so they ran my name. But then they found like, they were like, started asking me who my uncle, like if I knew my uncle, like they told me my uncle's name, my sister's name, my mom's name, my brother's name, and asked me how I knew all of them. And I was like, I didn't even know that they had, that they could do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. So like, yeah, I don't.
Like, look you up?
Yeah, they like looked me up, but then also looked up like my like maybe it's because it's like something happened, like so we were
It's
all.
possible that those people have like records.
No, I know that they do. It's my family we're talking about. So
Then that's possibly
but
how
I just
they
didn't
have
think that
access
they
to
could
that
like
shit.
link. Like I just didn't think that would come up. You know, I guess it was just it took me off guard.
Guilty by association.
I
man.
guess, but yeah, I don't know. Like it's always like the more I like am getting older and realizing like it's just like little things like my last name. Like I'm physically very white passing, but like the minute that like something comes out and like the people find out I'm Indigenous or like my last name, like they read my last name and they know it's an Indigenous last name, it changes the conversation.
No, absolutely.
And like people get weird about it sometimes.
Oh yeah, people are definitely.
I'm just noticing it more, I think, because I'm more sensitive about it.
I think the group that probably gets the most prejudice thrown at them is Indigenous people.
It is, yeah.
That's coming from a complete.
It's so open though.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is that like everybody's hatred is so out there.
Yeah,
Like it's okay to hate Indigenous people. Sorry, because
That's okay.
they're. I'm salivating because I'm so passionate. But like, yeah, I think it's like because of the systematic like oppression and genocide that has happened. And this is getting heavy, and I'm sorry, but it's the reality.
Don't apologize.
Like
it happened.
I think that it's been very successful, and I think that, like, the fact that there's so many like alcoholics and drug users within the community, it's because there's generational trauma, and that means that like it just like is a cycle, and we're all caught in that cycle, and so like onlookers only see like the outcomes and the violence and the abuse, and they see that and they make the generalization that that's just who the people are. It's the same as like, I don't know, like with slavery and like, you know, like black people work hard because they're black and they're animals. This is the same kind of thought process, I think, because it's like Native people deserve nothing and garbage because they're garbage. Like, because look at how they live their lives. Like, look at where they live. And it's like they have no choice, first of all, to live on those reserves with nothing. Yeah. But
like that was other factors. That was other people's doing.
Yeah, and it's just like they're stuck in this loop. Yeah. And it's a in a way like a trauma loop. Like, you know, like ghosts. Ghosts are stuck in trauma loops when you're murdered. I'm trying to make this funny.
That's okay. No, sometimes we get serious.
Yeah.
What I was saying earlier.
I saw a ghost when I was a kid.
Oh my god, you never told me that.
Yeah, I saw a few ghosts.
Nice.
Where?
Many ghosts.
We can talk about the ghosts next. I just want to clarify. No, we can. I just want to clarify something that I said earlier, where I was like, I think that indigenous people. No, not today. Well, I think indigenous people are probably like get the most like racism. They get the most open racism, like shot at them and shit like that. Yeah. I want to preface that with this is coming from a place of like I'm the whitest of the whites.
Oh, we know.
I don't see any of this shit.
From the homeland.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad being this sheltered from it because like
it's not bad. That's where I come in and I educate you on it.
Well, that's just the thing. I think it would be better if it was if we were a bit more aggressive with the white people being like, hey, a bunch of this stuff happened and you need to be aware. Like we're not blaming you.
Where my podcast comes in, you guys. Nouveau Nihia.
Motherfucker.
Look at how smooth that plug was.
But yeah, white people get super fucking antsy about it because they're like, it wasn't me personally, it wasn't even my ancestors. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you need to be aware of what other people have gone through and the shit that they face. A little bit of
empathy is all they ask.
Yeah, the shit that they face day in, day out. Because like I walk through life, I breeze through life. No one has ever taken a look at me and discriminated against me because of the way I look or
me
the
neither.
way. Huh?
Me neither.
Me neither. Why?
What?
I've never been discriminated against because of the way I look. Well,
you
do you feel that's the discrimination?
Like low key have gotten a little bit of shit.
It's true.
Because
I
continue. I discriminate against you.
I discriminate against you.
You probably got a little bit of discrimination.
Yeah, but I deserved it.
You little goblin, little fucker.
But even if you weren't a delinquent at that point, you don't think the color of your skin would have gotten you or your name?
I think that I got off pretty easy.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's...
Like, see, and here's the thing for me, like, I have no bearing. Like, no one has ever, like, really, like, stopped or discriminated me, for anything. So it's like, I don't have that receptor.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I'm constantly trying to be more aware of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, like,
that's all you can
that's
do,
injustice and that's unfair if people treat each other differently based on factors outside of their control.
Yeah.
Like, if you get treated differently because you act a certain way, if you're giving people a reason to treat you a certain way, if you're a delinquent, sorry.
I am.
People...
Well, I used to be. I'm on step 5.
You're reformed.
Yeah. People change their... Good job, man.
That's right. High fives for 5.
So funny. Can I still...
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, like, people will treat you differently because of the way you act, and that's more justifiable than just looking at someone and immediately thinking like, oh, they look like this, or they're dressed this way, or they have this name, or they have this shade of skin. I'm immediately going to guard myself in a certain way, or change how I speak to them, or not fucking speak to them at all, because that's definitely an option.
I've
Some
been
people
just
just
ignored as a woman, I think.
Yeah.
I ignore you.
Yeah, like I can tell sometimes. Like I'm just.
Yeah. I do see that a little bit. Working in like office spaces and stuff like that, get see a bit of sexism, quite a bit actually, especially if you're dealing with like older dudes that are all management type and shit like that, and then you get into like a meeting and like women coworkers will try and participate or try and say something, and then like a lot of the time their viewpoint just gets shut down.
That would drive me actually insane.
Yeah.
Like
women get interrupted a lot. They'll be like mid-sentence. It's not even like a point where you could be like, oh yeah, no, this is an acceptable time to be like, yeah, you could add a point here. It's a collaborative process. Mm-hmm. No, they just get straight like cut off and like moved on to the next topic, and like it's not even acknowledged.
I'm about to fight some men in suits, I swear to God.
and it's like it just happens, and women have to deal with it in the workplace all the time. Well, that's
the thing is like learning about like, I don't know, like what people go through, and like everybody goes through like shit and whatnot, but like as a woman and as a POC, very little, but still, like, I don't know where I was going with
that. Camera is faced directly at you guys.
I hate that.
So you don't have to.
It looks like you're speaking to the kitchen countertop. Like,
that's what I was saying. You just talk to it.
I'm just moving, and I lost my point, and I don't want to make that point anymore.
That's okay. We can talk about ghosts.
If I could say something.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I can do that.
You can't say anything.
I think that.
Shut up.
I think that. I'm waiting for you guys to finish your drinks so I can throw them over. I think that's a funny bit.
This is.
Yeah, I'm working on this. Don't throw this yet. It's still got a good amount of caffeine in it. And it doesn't taste bad. It tastes like grapes.
I don't like grape flavored things.
I think that's just a funny visual.
It's really gross to me. It tastes like medicine.
That's why I like it.
Because you're a fucking medicine head?
No, I like the taste of like Buckley's and stuff. And then like that's why I like original Red Bull. That's why I like Jägermeister. My Jägermeister is delicious. It is medicine.
I found all your missing cats and dogs.
What?
There's the murderer.
Oh, that's what you think. Okay.
Taste some Buckley's, fucking psychopath. Okay. Oh my God.
I was gonna say that sometimes like
it's the good stuff.
Some people like they get mad if like their culture is getting like made fun of, or like they're like you were saying, like some white people, they like feel like, it's okay to we can't make fun of anyone else, but they're allowed to make fun of us.
Yeah.
It's like everyone gets a turn.
Yeah.
Like you should I don't want to say you should feel
roll over
lucky.
And take it.
You shouldn't feel lucky, but like at least you're lucky enough to do it now.
Yeah.
Like now it's like it's easier to make fun of someone, but you have so much like backup not to make fun of. Because, like, could you imagine back in the day, like, you as an indigenous woman, I can't say that.
That's okay.
I'm not being rude,
That's
I'm just dyslexic.
You just can't say the word?
Yeah. As that woman, back in the day, it probably would have been, like, way worse, like, residential schools.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying it's not bad now, but what I'm saying is, like if I got hurt by like my race or whatever, I'd probably be way luckier right now for someone to like get at me than like back in the day when like.
That's why I don't
they would just kill you right
That's
in the street.
That's why I don't understand people who
are
like people who are like, I was born in the wrong era, or like white people, because like honestly, like
we say that all the time.
I know what I like the title of this episode already. Like fuck you, white people, and that's gonna be like Kevin's face.
It's just me. Yeah. No. Well, yeah, and like I've heard that all the time from
my favorite people are white. Like, I was raised by my white family. Like that's why I'm so colonized.
Nice.